first officer question time of the new semester. I'm your host and one of the union student trustees, Alex. Tonight, each of the full-time officers will report back on their work over the past months, updating us on any key outcomes since their last report. I will invite questions from our studio audience, but you can also get involved at home. If you'd like to ask a question that has not been covered, then you can do so by using the hashtag OfficerQT, and we'll do our best to read it out during the programme. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce your student union officers, Mel, Tom, Louise, Deo and Yash. Good evening to you all. Let's also introduce our student counsellors this evening. We have Baldeal, Student with Disabilities Network Chair. Hi. We also have Feewood, the Women's Network Chair. We've also got Cyrus Plaza, Multicultural Network Chair. And we also have Kate Wayland, one of the student trustees of the union. Good evening to you all. Now, firstly, I would like to summarise the issues that the student panel voted on during September's Better Staffs Forum and update you on the outcomes. Students brought 4 issues to our last meeting. One of them was a request for an extension to the intersite shuttle service, a request for storage facilities or lockers, a request that the union ensured the lads' mags sold in the shop were put in modesty covers as agreed previously, and a request that we check the operation of the meal deals as there were some anomalies reported by students. The student panel voted in favour of these. Tom has taken on the task of extending the intersite service. Tom, can I ask you to update us, please? Yep.
Basically, I'm currently awaiting feedback from a lot of clubs and societies, committees, on giving us information on how many students they would want to travel across from each site. And then I'm going to take the information to Linda Degg, who's the Director of Campus and Commercial Services, next week, and find out if any outcome can be gained from that.
Thank you very much, Tom. Now, Louise undertook the task of researching further into the provision of storage. Lou, can you give us an update, please?
Yep. As it was discussed at length at the Better Staffs Forum and the fact that the issue spread across both campuses, we're in the process of looking at the feasibility of the space on campus, and we're working with university estates and reviewing the financial implications of locker storage.
Thank you very much, Louise. Now, the discussion around lads' mags was an interesting one, and following suggestions from students attending the meeting, it was agreed that going forward, any publications featuring nudity would be covered, whether they were publications aimed at men or women. All our retail outlets have been advised of this change in policy, and we are monitoring the situation to ensure compliance. The anomaly over the charging for meal deals has been resolved. The shops are revisiting their training with staff, and we have requested that a sticker is put on all the tills reminding staff of this correct procedure. If you have an idea that you want to put to the future Better Staffs Forum, please go to staffsunion.com/Better Staffs Forum and get the discussion started. We have had one submission for the next meeting, which is currently online, which is earlier release of timetables. The late release of these means a lot of stress for parents who have to arrange childcare. Lecturers have advised it's a central booking system that drag their feet as the timetable is known in advance. Something needs to be done, as most childcare providers need plenty of time to get this sorted. If you want us to lobby the university to improve things, join in on the debate online. Come to one of the meetings, or you can also submit an idea of your own. I'm now going to ask the floor if there are any questions at this moment in time. If you do have a question, please raise your hand. Over to you, sir.
In regards to sports and activities, it has generally been a thing that the uni has made Wednesday afternoons available for students to go and represent the university at any sports or activities that they may do so. However, in the past couple of weeks, it's come to show that some students are having lectures on Wednesdays. There's been the game conference today on a Wednesday, which has meant that, for example, the rugby union men's team today had to forfeit their match due to not being able to field enough players because the uni is putting on these things the students go to, whether it be compulsory or not. So I was wondering, is there anything that you guys are going to do about that? Will Wednesdays stay free so that students can represent the university at whatever sport or activity they choose to?
No?
Obviously, the reason why the amnesty was put in place in the first place was so that students could participate in extracurricular activities. If it's not happening, that's something that we do need to address. So if you can come to us after the show and then just give us the name of your courses and so on, we can speak to the academic registrar and get that sorted for you, because obviously that's not acceptable.
Do you have any more questions from the audience at this time? If you'd just like to raise your hand, please. No? Okay, we've had one from B that's come in online. I'm just going to ask this to all of you. How can students question officers if no report has been published for the students to read first? Don't know if any of you want to take this up.
That's an interesting one. I mean, the way in which we write our reports, we have been looking at, because it's the boxes that you have to put things in means that we are missing out a lot of information. I mean, I had 3 pages worth of bullet points that I wanted to include in this report, and I had to make them very succinct and quite shorten them down. So we are looking at the different ways in which we are going to do our reports. At the end of the day, this whole question time thing is new. It's completely new, so any student feedback would be really, really beneficial, and we can change it according to that. So we'll take that feedback on board and we can change it.
Okay, no problem. We've also had some questions that have come in as well. This has been mainly when we've had our promotions team with the Students' Union going around and just mainly asking some questions. One of them that has come in is, could the library have a water cooler like the one in the student space with cups? Yash, can I direct this to you, please?
Actually, we'll take this onto the board and we'll discuss it with the SMT. Considering the cruciality in the plumbing works and the cost effectiveness, we'll take this issue on board and we'll try to resolve this.
No problem.
Thank you.
There we go. Another one. Can the shuttle bus to Gobble be every week? Now, we're going to go to Tom about this because I know he's been doing a lot of work with the shuttle bus at the moment. Tom?
Yeah, so we basically trialled it last Wednesday to see if students would be interested from Stafford campus whether to go to Stoke campus for Gobble. We've deemed it a success and we're planning on doing it at least once a month. The next one is going to be on the 12th of November. And tickets will be £8.50 for coach there and back, and the entry included, like last time.
Thank you, Tom. Another question we've had come in: can we have more fruit and healthy alternatives? Louise Mason.
So there's currently fresh fruit at both of our union shops at Stoke-on-Stafford, and the shops are open from approximately 8:30 till 6. But if you check on the Stafford Union website, and in January, myself and some of the other officers will be working on Wellbeing Week, where there'll be an extra push to get healthy, fresh fruit and veg out to all you students.
Thank you. We've also had another one. Is there a way that both the LRV and lounge can have the same rulings on time? Tom?
Okay, this comes down to the licences of the venues. The Stoke Borough Council do the licences for LRV, and they state that no student can enter after 12 AM, and then for Stafford it's 1 because that's what the Stafford Council says. So we can't do it without the council's permission, but we could look into it.
Yeah, no problem at all. A question for Mel: why is the Stafford campus closing?
This is a huge question. Basically, the whole reason the campus is closing is because it wasn't financially viable, as far as I'm aware, and also there was a lot of questions sent out to potential students, current students, and students who applied for university and then decided not to attend. And they said, what kind of campus would you like? And they said city campus. So obviously, out of the 2 main ones that we have, the one that's most like a city, well, it is a city technically, is Stoke. So that's one of the main reasons. It is sad to see something go, and I understand that people are still going to be asking questions, but obviously we had that meeting last year with the Vice-Chancellor, we had the Director of Finances and things like that, so people could direct them questions directly to the executive before the decision was made. It is sad, and I am sad that the campus is going to be closing, but the reasons behind it are it's just not financially viable, as far as I'm aware.
Of course, of course. Another question's come in regards to the shuttle bus. Is there any chance that it could be running on the weekend so that students on the Stafford campus can come up and use the facilities based on the Stoke campus? Tom, I'm going to direct this back to you because obviously once again I know
it's something I can bring up with Linda Degg next week when I have a meeting with her to look further into.
There we go. Now I'm going to direct this to Louise because Louise is one of the key officers for the Faculty of Arts and Creative Technologies. If the uni is meant to be working as one, then why can't the students on the Stafford campus go up and use the facilities and also take the equipment out in the Stoke stores?
That's a good question. I didn't realise that this was an issue. So I've got a meeting with the head of the dean for my faculty in, I think, less than 4 weeks. So I'll bring it up with her and feedback. Thank you.
No problem. We've also had a statement that's been made, actually, on club nights. Is there any chance of having more interaction with them, I suppose? So, Deo, if I hand this over to you.
Yep, that's very great to hear, because every Monday we have our open deck nights, which people can come down and be interactive and choose what DJ they want to perform at Refresh or our final gobble. Also, a bid was accepted this academic year for a talent agency also. So we're looking to collate all of our students who have talent and promote them through the union. So those are opportunities, but any other opportunity for us to promote what we have and be interactive, please feel free and let me know.
No problem. Thank you very much, Dale. We've also had one as well for printing to be made cheaper, especially for FYP students, because obviously they have to do a paper submission, which obviously can be quite costly. Yash, would you like to answer this, please?
Printing charges have been made cheaper this summer, so I think the students need to get update on that more furtherly, so we want to advertise it more further. Yeah. The printing costs have been reduced this summer.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Yash. And one just before we finish the questions. Lighters and matches to be sold in our bars now.
In Stoke, we no longer sell cigarettes in either of our bars, so it seems like one of the things like, why would you sell one without the other? Obviously, it's something that we can look into, but at the same time, if the demand, that's the first time I've heard that kind of question, so if the demand's not there, it's a bit strange. So we can take that forward and just see. At Stafford, I didn't realise until today, actually, but we do still sell cigarettes in the bar, so that's something that's much more likely to happen, so I can look into it, no worries.
No problem. I do have a very random question, actually, which I suppose will kind of make it a bit fun. This is going to go to both Mel and Louise. Mel, we'll go with you first. But how many bears would Bear Grylls grill if Bear Grylls could grill bears?
Barely any. Bear. Bear.
That was so funny. I love that. Louise?
Oh, mine's not going to be as funny as that. I think I'd say raw, because it'd be like entertainment, and he'd be all like, oh, I mean this raw. So, yeah. None?
No. Just no. Anyway, now let's hand over to Student Union President Mel to update us. Mel.
Okay, so this is my full-time officer report. As I said before, the titles are a little bit, so I might not be able to fit in everything that I actually wanted to, but I'll try and remember everything I can. So my strategic thread is celebrating your successes. So on that strand, I attended the university's Celebrating Staff Successes event and presented the awards that we actually gave out as a union for our Student Experience Awards. If you don't know what the Student Experience Awards are, they're where you can nominate any member of staff, whether that be a cleaner, your lecturer, anyone, and basically show them how much of a good job they're doing, because everyone's equally important, even at the end of the day. So yeah, that was really, really good, and I gave a speech and got quite good feedback, which was nice. Meetings since Welcome Week, I've only had really one main university meeting. The rest are starting to come in now. I've had a few recently, actually. But the first one was a PHF Change Programme Progress meeting. And basically, I had to go down to London during Welcome Week, which was a really awkward time, and basically speak about student retention, and we were sharing all best practice in that meeting. A few others, I went to a graduation review/planning group, and I managed to get the board to agree to look into some provisions for graduation for students from low-income backgrounds. So basically we're looking at something in place for the gowns themselves, because obviously they can be quite expensive, about 50 quid, but also tickets as well, because when you add up all of the money that your family has to spend and take time off work and so on, it can really add up. And as I was a student from a disadvantaged background, that is a subject that's very close to my heart. I've also been tasked to look into if there's any student bands who would like to play at graduation, which I'm keen on as well. This would mean a commissioned job for students and the experience of playing to a large amount of people. I've spoken to Squeezebox in Stoke about this being a possible ultimate goal for those who play squeeze nights. So as part of our talent bank, you can go along to Squeezebox and do an acoustic night or do poems or anything like that. And yeah, it's quite nice that could be the end goal, that you get to play at graduation. So I'm really looking forward to trying to find some bands. I went to Academic Development Unit, basically keeping the university in the loop when it comes to our blueprint document and the NSS scores that we've received so far. If you don't know what the blueprint document is, basically we get the NSS and the SVS surveys, we get all the information and we look into it and just see where the university could improve. And there's like a wish list of things that if we could do, like in 100 million years, we'll put that, and also little changes they can make as well. So that's something you can find on staffsunion.com/blueprint, if I'm correct. Also went to Research, Enterprise and Advanced Scholarship Committee. Got no results for membership there, soz guys. Also, Bishop Jeff, Mick the Vic, Noel Morrison and myself met up, having a regular catch-up. I fed back regarding the welcome talks that Mick the Vic was at. If you're a first-year student, you would have seen Mick. He's a bit mad, love him. And also kept Bishop Jeff in the loop regarding the food bank that we're looking into introducing this year. Lomax Halls, we've had some issues with them, so I've had lots of meetings there. I won't go too much into that, but it is sorted. Me and Dale went on a Board of Governors retreat. We went away for a day or two and basically gave a report on what the union's been doing and got some good feedback when it came to that. We asked about the inconsistencies within schools of the same faculty when it comes to NSS results, and this has already been looked at, so that's really positive. Also had a meeting, oh God, so many meetings, sorry. Had a meeting with distribution of funds regarding with the, oh hang on, I got that wrong way around. Meeting with university marketing regarding distribution of funds. So basically, the university have set themselves a target to get X amount of money in the next few years from alumni, and basically wanted our feedback on how they should be spending it. So I suggested that more bursaries of a smaller amount would be more beneficial because we can get more students getting that extra pot of money if they got bursaries, for example. So that'll be on top of the normal bursary scheme, by the way. So plans before the next student council meeting. I'm really working hard on elections. That's going to be the general election itself next year, also the leadership race, and also clubs and societies committee elections as well. On the same vein, got some really good news today. We submitted a bid to NUS for some funding to this thing called the Community Organisational Innovation Fund. I had to read that. And basically we were doing this as a joint venture with Keele, trying to get more students voting in the general election, and found out today we got £2,000 made up. Also was successful with a bid that we put forward to NUS for I Heart Consent. And basically that's going to be a campaign that we're running around Valentine's Day. And so you'll see a lot more going on about that. Apart from that, I've just had loads of meetings with students and just basically trying to help them out. Thank you.
Do I have any questions from the audience for Mel at all?
Yeah.
Coming from a clubs and societies point of view of the Stafford campus, what I'd like to know is what is the contingency plans of clubs and societies when we merge up to Stafford campus? Looking more so at maybe sports, whenever they're currently segregated as two different teams at the moment. How are you going to bring them all together whenever we actually move up to Stoke-on-Trent?
I don't have all the answers, but it is something that we have been talking about and we are going to be looking into. Obviously, it's going to be a very difficult time for everyone, so the smoother we can make that transition, the better. I know that sounds like I'm just giving you loads of like fluff, but genuinely even, we are looking into it. I don't have the answers right now. If I did, it would be much easier, but it's just something that we're just going to have to keep working at, and obviously involve yous as well.
Do I have any more questions from the audience for Mel? No? Okay, thank you very much, Mel. I'd like to now hand over to Tom. Tom?
Yep. Hello. So my strand is ensuring you're well served. So I basically, I'm the person that that the officer basically that looks after all the venues, everything, the library, for instance, accommodation, any sort of issues. I'm the officer that people normally go to for those. I currently sit on 21 different boards and committees and other meetings. I can tell you about a few of them now. So I have regular meetings with the Dean of Computer Engineering and Sciences, where we've managed to get loads of issues sorted around the 20-day feedback that the Computer Engineering and Sciences was having. Hopefully that will now trickle down, and when provisional results should be given out as soon as they're written down by the lecturers now. If there isn't, then contact me and I can pass that on. I have lots of meetings with IS, Information Services, such as the Student Systems Project Board, which is basically the implementation of the new database system called SITS, which is the transfer over from thesis. So this is the system that's been causing lots of issues for all the students to enrol. So I've currently been working with the university to try and get those issues fixed as soon as possible and making sure that the data comes across to our databases. Then you all can get into sign up for membership for clubs and societies and get into our venues. I've been involved in the Open Day strategy work group, so the Open Days are hopefully going to be changing for the better soon. You'll see more about that soon when it's released. And then I have regular meetings with Linda Degg, Director of Campus and Commercial Services, and the Director of Information Services, Bernard Shaw. So I know I'm going to regret this, but if there's any issues on car park or anything like that, direct them my way, because I'll probably be the best one to pass them on, either to do with, and also Information Services. And I'm also the lead officer on the Disabled Students Network. But I won't, and there's lots of other things as well, but I don't want to go too much detail into them because I don't boring people. But yeah.
Do we have any questions from the audience for Tom? No? There you go. Thank you very much for that, Tom. Louise, if I could...
Should I mention the 3 things as well? I'll mention the 3 things as well.
Moving on, anyway. Louise.
Okay, cool. So other than the 5 of us have had loads and loads and loads and loads of meetings, they've been super useful, and obviously to get the best student experience possible. So a handful of the boards and committees that I've been sitting on since I've started, I think I've had about 9 boards and committees meetings. So one of them is sports management. So we pretty much cover everything to do with sports and how it's managed, and the finances about it. So at the moment we're sending off figures to the University Marketing Department about the current team staff's kit, because we've had it for 3 years now and it's kind of looking a bit on the rough side. And at the end of the day we want to be able to represent staff's uni and show them that we're really good at sport. So we're currently putting in a bid for that to try and get some money. I sit on the Quality Committee, which is just ensuring the student voice is heard when the university is determining changes, and just ensuring that all students get the best quality teaching that they can. I also sit on Learning, Teaching and Academic and Assessment Committee, and that feeds up into quality. And again, that's about getting sufficient learning and teaching and making sure that it's good instead of just average, because you're here for a reason, you're paying a lot of money to be here. And last but not least, I sit on Staffordshire Graduate, which is keeping in close loop with the university regarding the Staffordshire Graduate attributes and making sure that our university is giving us the skills that we need to get the career path desired. What else do I want to talk about? Oh yeah, my strand is Engaging You, so that pretty much covers clubs and societies, volunteering. What else does it cover? Oh yeah, just generally getting your feedback and just getting you to talk to us so we can find out what you need, what you want, what your problems are, what things that you find good. So I'm working closely with the activities team and just making sure that varsity and Versity are going to go ahead smoothly. And I'm currently working on a student market with our Under One Roof intern. She's working on social enterprise, and I'm working jointly with her on the student market, which is a platform for students to sell their own goods or their own handmade crafts to other students in a safer environment than the big bad world. So yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions for Louise at all? No? Thank you very much for that, Louise. I'm now going to hand over to Deo.
Thank you very much. Well, as you know, it's been very busy since Welcome Week. The strand that I'm with is developing you, and that is developing your development. So we want to see all of our students in employment, whether it's through the jobs on campus or off campus or placements. Some of the meetings that I've been involved in is the Race Equality Working Group, which is I had to do research. We broke up into groups with the university staff members, and I had to do research and ask some of our students on how effective is the teaching and their experience in the classrooms. So we're collecting that into deep information. I'm also a governor with Mel, and as she said, we went to a conference not long ago. I also sit on the Black History Month group, which, we've been campaigning and it's been very successful. We've seen the union and the university really push the awareness of Black History Month, and as a result of that, we've had different groups and different students really engaged. Finance, staffing and risk, so the joys of sitting on interview panels, and so I've just come from an interview panel for school reps. Also finance committee, so that's ongoing, where we have meetings with Mark Hattersley, who's an exec, and our general manager. Also estates and infrastructure, and also Staffordshire Graduate, which is linked to your development and is making sure that all students are world ready and work ready. So my strand basically is just directed to your development and making sure you get the best experience on campus and you're ready to graduate with not just your degree, but you're equipped with all the attributes, as Louise said earlier. So those are some of the things that I've been working on.
Thank you, Dale. Do you have any questions from the audience today?
Am I correct in thinking that you support student staff and the Students' Union and things like that? What I want to know is, like, I'd be staff in Legends and Lounge. When the campuses merge, would staff in Legends and Lounge be getting jobs up in the likes of LRV, Ember Lounge and things like that there?
We have, well, as you know, we have squeeze box. We have different facilities on campus to accommodate as every student. We have training programs. We also have the opportunity to employ in different areas. We even have our eco hub. So there's different opportunities, whether it's front of house at reception, whether it's at our club nights or in the restaurants for all students. It's not Stafford students and it's not Stoke students, you're Staffordshire University students. So when there is opportunities, all students will have the opportunity to apply for jobs.
What I'm looking at is more like current staff of the Students' Union. Do we have job security whenever we go on up to Stoke campus?
At the moment, I can't really say exactly what it is, but we have, every staff member knows the transition that we're going to go into, and everyone is aware of the move. So we're doing our best to communicate in our coffee slots, and we have staff members who have questions and they're able to ask us, and we can go into further discussions on what the future looks like. Is that for core staff or student staff?
Student staff, as in student bar staff.
Student bar staff.
Lounge and student shop staff.
To be honest, I don't see a problem with having, if you're working in Stafford, to have a position in Stoke. But like I said, is whatever comes available, and with anything else, you can ask us further and we can go into that. Yeah.
Sorry for jumping in, but I was just going to say, obviously we have so many students who graduate every year and then their job becomes vacant, so I would guess around that time we would just employ less new staff and then just make sure that we had, obviously you've been working in Legends and Lounge for 2 years, you're going to want to have a job when you move over as well, so obviously that's something I've actually not even thought of, but I suppose we would just employ less new staff so that them staff do have a job. If they want it at the end of the day, it's up to them. So we can speak to HR person and stuff with that, and we'll get an answer back to you for the next question time, or even sooner.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Do you have any more questions from the audience for Deo at all? No? There you go. Thank you very much for that, Deo. I'm now going to hand over to Yash.
Hi, and my strand for the year is knowing you better. We are looking at the various data such as NSS data and SVS and analyzing them, and we have identified a few areas of improvement, and I'm constantly working on those areas to improve for better things. And coming for the various boards and committees which I sit in the year are with Welcome Implementation Group. I have been the part of Welcome Week Working Group and Welcome Implementation Group, and we have worked for making it successful. I hope it was successful. And Placement Working Group. I'm part of the Placement Working Group, which looks into the placements for various students like master students and the Faculty of Health Science students and various faculties. So we are looking in making more placements for the students. Nurses and Midwifery Council. I'm a part of Nurses and Midwifery Council, and we are looking at the various problems which are faced with nursing students, and we are raising it with the Dean and the Head of Schools to resolve them. The Research Degree Subcommittee. I'm a part of Research Degree Subcommittee, But I have provided few of the opinions from the Students' Union, from the students, about increasing their direction towards research and PhDs. But I felt it is more faculty-wise, so we would input our voice further for the various groups. Sorry. Sports Management and Sports Strategy Group. Initially, me and Lou were the part of the group, but we thought one officer should be enough giving a voice, so Lou is the part of the group now. And I'm currently working with increasing more infrastructure in Blackheath Lane and proper utilization of the Students' Union Common Room. So we have been in meetings with the estates directors, and we have included one student from the nursing and midwifery into the panel so that they could be a proper representation from students. I have been with the Finance Staff and Risk Committee as well. I'm working on the risk register for the Students' Union, and we have met Mark Wesley and Ken from the Students' Union, me and Dayo planning for the better financing plans for the year. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you, Ash. Do we have any questions from the audience at all? No. There we go. Had some more questions come in on social media. I'm going to just ask these, I do apologise. If one of the officers would just like to pick them up, that would be superb. So the first one, what is happening about the doors to Ember Lounge as students with disabilities at times cannot get through them?
At the moment, this is something that I said when I was an officer, it was one thing I would change it. It's basically the doors at Ember are really heavy, and we were looking at getting electronic doors put in. I sent an email off to the Director of Finance, Mark Hattersley, a couple of months ago, and basically we're just trying to find out if there's any, because there's been lots of issues with can we get it, can we not, and then kind of going back and forth as these things tend to go. But we are going to try and get someone in to, or are going to get someone in, sorry, to, what's it called when you get someone to price something?
Get a quote.
Get a quote, thank you. We're going to get someone to give us a quote on how much that would cost, because at the end of the day, it's annoying for disabled people, but at the same time, it's also annoying for the student staff who work in there, because you're taking 2 plates of food out. I worked in there for 3 years, I know what it's like. You're taking 2 plates of food out, you've got to push through back one door, then through another. So it's not modern, and I think if we want to be seen as a modern university, then we need to change things like this.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you for that, Mel. Another one has come in. What are the officers doing for mature and part-time students to encourage them to be involved with the Students' Union?
When we first had this team, sorry, it's me answering all these questions, I'm really sorry, I feel like I'm talking too much. When we first had our training sessions at the start of the year with this new team, we sat down, we tried to identify all different parts of the student body who are hard to reach. And when we did this, we looked at things like people who do evening classes, mature students, things like that, people who may not want to go out and have a drink. So it's one of the things that it's been in our minds, and we've been trying to sort it out for a long time, but I think we need to come up with a better plan of exactly what we're going to do. It is difficult when you've got people that you can obviously catch outside Ember or outside the Octagon, things like that. It's quite easy to bump in, but when people are finishing classes at 7, 8, 9 p.m. at night, it's really difficult to be able to speak to them and see what their actual opinions are and stuff, and they're the people that we need to talk to as well as everyone else at the end of the day. So it is something that we are thinking about, and after today, obviously I can go back and we can really talk about it, and well, we have already really talked about it, but properly talk about it and put a plan in place.
Absolutely. There you go. Another one, which I'm hoping all of you would be able to answer this one. This is coming from Hamish. Do you believe in life after love?
I can feel something inside. Sorry, I love that song. Life after love. Yeah, but not love after life, because you die.
Thanks for that. Louise, do you want to answer that one as well?
What was the question?
You're going to make me repeat share.
Yep.
Do you believe in life after love?
I'm trying to think of a serious answer right here, Mel. Do I believe in life after love? Yeah, I also believe in love after life. Love never dies. Love never dies.
So morbid.
Yeah?
Very tough question. I believe love is to start a new life. So there is a lot of life after love. Love.
cry.
Oh, lovely. Now, do not cry on live TV. Tom?
I don't know. It's a difficult one, isn't it?
Should we come back to you?
Yeah.
There.
You can't beat Yash's answer right there, but no, I would say I'm a lover, so I think love never dies, so that's my answer.
Amen.
Tom, have you thought of an answer now?
No, I'm just going to go with what Dan said.
One more question before I hand over to our network chairs. Can we get beds in the student space?
That would actually be something we could discuss, as well as having lockers, for example, in the student space. These are things we could, if the students want it, then it's something that we should take forward and ask.
3 years ago, they did have mattresses down there when it was near exam period, so it could be something we could look into.
And to be honest, it could be something I could benefit from as well.
Yeah.
I could do within that.
Not right now.
King size, yeah.
That's just a formality. We don't need to talk about that now. There you go. So thank you very much for that. Oh, we have some questions in the audience.
Can we have a puppy room?
Oh, I looked into it.
Yeah.
I did look into it. Basically, we had this come forward to the Better Staffs Forum last year, and we were... I can't think of the word because I've got share stuck in my head.
I'll look after one.
Basically, I spoke to a dog charity. There's a university, or union, should I say, up north, who did it successfully. So I went through the same channels that they did. I contacted them, got the details, everything, rang up the dog charity, the one for Staffordshire kind of area, and they were asking for £2,000. Yeah, so that's where it kind of stopped, because I was like, as we're a charity as a students' union, it's quite difficult to then raise money for another charity. It gets a bit murky. So I was looking up for walkmydog.com. Have you seen that? Basically, you can walk someone's dog, and that's free. So that's something else that we were looking at putting in. So we could have like a puppy room, but it wouldn't quite be a room, but it would have puppies. So I did look into it, I promise, and I'm still looking into it. It's just £2,000. It's just
Ridiculous.
yeah. I don't know how up north got it done. I think they got it for free.
I suppose it's something we just
What
need to
about
look
a
into.
kitchen room then?
Oh, that's a devil room.
Just get a whole petting zoo, that'd be quite
Why don't we bribe them with cookies?
Oh, we did have a pet and zoo and welcome week. Did you see it? We had a pet and zoo and welcome
Oh,
week.
it's after that day.
Ah.
There we go. Any more questions from the audience at all?
Yeah.
Do a bit more.
Yep.
At the most recent open day, some of the ambassadors there were new students who had been at the university studying for about 4 weeks. And as such, they didn't really know the university at all, or any of the things that, so people asking them questions and they had no idea. So, why are new students being recruited as ambassadors this early on in the year when they don't really have the knowledge or the experience to be able to fulfill that role?
The Students' Union does not actually employ the ambassadors, it's actually the university side. Also, they do have training, and they had training the Saturday, and then the open day was on the Sunday, and then they've had 2 lots of training since then. And today I actually did a presentation to all the ambassadors to tell them about the union, so they'll be a bit more informative about that from now on.
Okay. There we go. Do we have any more questions from the audience at all? Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering, with the move from Stafford to Stoke, will returning students get a chance to look at the facilities before we make the move to Stoke, sort of see what's up there?
That's something I'm taking on. Basically, we're looking at having Stafford Stoke tours. So basically, get a minibus sorted. Every Stafford student who wants to come and see what it's like and is moving over, jump on the bus, come down to Stoke. We'll take you to things like, I know it sounds stupid, but things like Aldi, Tesco, so you know where them kinds of things are. But then also things like maybe if you're into indie music, maybe a kind of indie bar or whatever. I'm not going to name any names, obviously. But yeah, so we're going to show you around and stuff, and we're calling it Cohesion Tours?
We're calling it, no.
I don't know what we're calling it, but we are going to do that towards the end of the year. And if not this year, we'll pass that on to the next officer team when it's close to the time. But it's just, we need to know if there's demand for it. But obviously, you've just raised it now, so that's good enough for me.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Back to the printing credits, was like, the issue was that I'm a film student and I've been speaking to like other third years, and lots of their submissions are just online, and like we have to do a physical like production of our what's final year project. That's really bad, I forgot that. But we have to print it all out and get that done and whatnot. But there are like computing classes, they have to do pretty much the same stuff, but they don't have to print it out, it's just all online. And it's not really fair.
It comes down to lecturer preference. Because all of the new starters this year have all got online submissions for every single piece of work, so I'd speak to your lecturers about, see if they want to change it, because it's up to them.
Or speak to the officer relevant to your faculty.
Yeah.
Oh, can I just add? Also, it might be worth raising with your student academic rep for your course, and that's another way that they can like get it up the tree, as it were, and they can address it to their lecturer, and so on.
Thank you, Graffy. Do I have any more questions from the audience at all? No? So I'm going to hand over now to our network chairs, because I believe that they do have a few words to say. So if I hand over to Bal first. Bal is the Students with Disabilities Networks chair. So Bal?
Hi guys. So far this year I have been planning Disabled History Month, which starts on November the 22nd. So there's been loads of activities going on both Stafford and Stoke campus. I've also had confirmation from the university they want disabled students to carry out an audit on all university buildings. We're going to start off in the gym at Stoke. So 3 volunteers have kindly volunteered themselves, obviously, at the last Disabled Student Network meeting, and the audit will be taking place at some point in November. I've also, myself and the union also celebrated World Mental Health Day, which will be really fun. I have also, during Disabled History Month, we're also going to be doing loads of fundraising activities, and I have spoken to Professor Michael Gunn, who's the Vice Chancellor of the University, about Brindley building doors being very, very heavy, and he's going to take that up with the senior management team, and hopefully all of the self-closers will be removed from the doors. Okay.
Thank you very much for that, Val. I'm now going to hand over to Fee Wood, who is our Women's Network Chair. Fee.
Yeah, for the work for this year, we'll be rerunning part of the Lad Culture campaign that we started last year to raise awareness of how to treat people. We'll also be looking at respect after a few complaints of issues within Shelton and other areas. We'll be looking at how people can be much safer around campus. We're going to be trying to increase the volunteering by trying to get people to volunteer a lot more. We're all planning the Liberation Fair, which is coming in next year, and hopefully get some more people to play with the sports. All the networks have actually agreed to start raising money now towards a new accessible vehicle. So over the year, we'll be looking for some volunteers to come and help raise money so that we can get a better vehicle for disabled students.
Thank you very much for that, Fee. And finally, I'm going to hand over to Cyrus Plaza, who is our Multicultural Network Chair.
Yeah, this year the Multicultural Network is carrying on from last year as well. We're continuing the volunteering programme with the Staffordshire County Council with their open door placement scheme. I'm currently working with Jill Freeman with that, and allowing my members to, in a way, get free first access to the open door placement scheme, and it's a great benefit for students who would like work experience and that they work with. Also, I'm working with Claire Wrigley with the Race to Equality Charter Mark, where we are trying to establish a university as diverse as possible. We have currently sent emails to students to fill in a quick questionnaire. Hopefully all the students have already filled that in, just to check on how they would like the university to improve to suit different races and nationalities. Also, we are currently in Black History Month. I have been promoting Black History Month, the Multicultural Network. I've been promoting that. And also we are currently, as Fee said as well, we are carrying on a project where international students will get a talk soon about safety around the campuses, because some international students do feel they need to know the area a bit more because they're not from here. So I'll be arranging a talk for that very soon. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. So, well, that's all we have time for this evening. I would, oh, my apologies. I believe we have some more questions online. Let's just have a little nosy.
Shall I sing?
No, it's okay. We're not having singing, no. We've had more questions come in online. One of them, which is actually quite a very interesting one, is there any chance of having more perks for returning alumni and graduates, such as event entry and whatnot?
This is quite funny, actually, because during Welcome Week we had, was it 4 blokes turn up who graduated 20 years ago? And they still had their old student cards. It was so cute, and they were lined up, and they were like, "Oh, is there any chance that we can get in?" And we were like, "Yeah." At the end of the day, you've brought they're having a bit of a reunion, and they were just wanting to kind of feel what it was like again. And so these are things that we're more than happy to put into place. There's also associate memberships and so on, but I don't know much about that, to be honest. But yeah, we want students to still feel as though they have that connection with the union. You've got us all the way through, whether you like it or not, so why not have it after you leave as well? So yeah, I don't really know what else to say. So, what about you, Dave? Have you got anything else to say on that?
Well, if you're a recent graduate and you still have friends in first, second or third year or fourth year, or wherever it is, those are still opportunities for you to come as a plus one as well to our venues. But like Mel said, those are things we can look into to make sure that whether you're alumni or you still have the opportunity to enjoy yourself in our venues.
Yeah, drop us an email and stuff. I mean, if you graduated 10, 20 years ago, whatever, but then people more recent than that, obviously, you have got associate memberships and stuff like that. Is that still available to people who graduated 20 years ago? Yeah. I really need to learn more about associate membership.
Yeah. We'll look into it.
Yeah, we'll look into it.
There you go. And obviously this is just kind of a generic question for all of you now. Say for students who are watching this online, if they do have any questions whatsoever, are they okay just to kind of email you lot with any questions whatsoever?
We're going to send out a list of everything we've done so far, so we'll get questions on those. But we have a generic email address called yourofficers@staff.ac.co.uk that Yash has helped set up. So feel free to drop us on that or our individual emails. You can find us around either the student space or in Stafford or above Ember in Stoke. So just feel free to come and see us whenever.
And we're dead mates.
Apparently.
That smile said it all, isn't it? There you go. I'm going to ask one final time now. Do I have any questions from the audience this evening for any of our officers? Yeah? Over to you.
In regards to Black History Month, I've seen a lot of it on the Student Union's page and Twitter, but haven't actually seen much going on around the campus, in Stafford campus this is. So I was wondering, have I missed out on anything, or is there stuff coming up to raise awareness about that? So, yeah, that's a question.
That's something we've recognised, and we're looking to the last few days and weeks. It's not just a month; it's something that it's an awareness that should be constant. And myself and officers will be on campus, and that banner's our Black History Month banner is with us for a very long time. So that's something that we want to push and promote. The university has a list of events on their equality and diversity page, which is based on Stoke and Stafford campus. So there is events going on, but I understand what you're saying about the awareness, which you will start seeing more of.
Thank you.
Do I have any more questions from the audience at all? No? Well, thank you very much. That is all we have time for this evening. Bless you. I would like to thank our union officers, Mel, Tom, Louise, Deo, and Yash, along with our network chairs as well. We will be back on Wednesday, the 19th of November from the Stoke campus for the Union AGM, and tune in right here next week for Staff TV's Halloween special. Until then, good night.